Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hello, everybody. Hello. Just getting in. So I'm gonna wait a few minutes here. We're gonna start up at straight up 11 so I can respect everybody's time. Good morning. Let's see, that's Tekiva. Good morning. John Terrius, how you doing, brother? Good morning. Nice to see you as well. Thank you for being here. So we'll just give it a few minutes. Like I said, I'm going to start up straight 11. So that was my time, and I'd like to respect that. So we'll be getting it going here in just a bit. Hello, everybody out there. Say good morning to you. Everyone. Greetings, brothers, at Intense Fit Way. Greetings, greetings. Glad to have you here. Now, if I butcher some of y'all's names, y'all help me out. Help me out. This brother can get kind of tongue-tied with some of those names y'all have going, but I can figure them out every now and then. All right, we're starting in about another minute. So glad to have everyone here. Stephen, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Glad you could be here today. All right. Well, it is straight up 11. So we can get going. So let's see. So I am Reginald Martin, aka Kuakararu. So I'm the founder of Kemetic Centered Living. I'm your host today. And at Kemetic Centered Living, I like to say that my work is beginner-friendly African spirituality because I break it down in a simple and easy to understand way so that it will forever and consistently be Baroque. All right. So I'm very excited to be here today, guys. I'm going to provoke thought for some of you today. So this is going to be kind of a difficult one for a lot of people because you might have been programmed a certain way. So today we're going to discuss the idea of morality and immorality from a Kemetic perspective. But let's set some ground rules. So let's be kind and courteous to each other, to me and the chat, and to me and in the chat room. Be kind to each other. This will be a positive experience. Negative individuals will be bounced out without warning. So my moderator, usual moderator, Queen Mystic, she's not here today. She was affected by Sally and the hurricane in Florida. She's doing fine. Everything is good with her. If y'all could just send her some positive energy, that would be great. As we're chatting today, if you value what I have to say, I would ask if you're willing and able to give your monetary support through Super Chat. You can give through Super Chat by clicking on the $ below your chat window and give your financial support. Sometimes the chat window can get to going, moving pretty quickly, and I might miss some questions here, but when you give through Super Chat, it actually highlights your questions and pins it up to the top of the window, so I'll be able to see it. That doesn't mean that I won't answer other questions, guys. That's not how I work, but it's just with the Super Chat, I can just catch it and see the question because it's pinned. If you're watching the replay, you can also go to my channel homepage on YouTube and click on the PayPal or Cash App logos and the banner on the website. And on my website, you can also go to my website at kemeticcenteredliving.com, and you can click on the Cash App logo and PayPal, or click on the donate button at the top of the menu. And I also want to thank Miss Penny Brown. Last week she gave $50, and I really want to appreciate her and just give her a shout out to that. To her doing that. I didn't ask, she just gave, and I really appreciate it. So she's manifesting her life, and she's priming the pump. So with that said, so that's the housekeeping. Let's see if we can get going here. So like I said, one of these, this is going to be a kind of a tough one. And guys, I put my stuff down on notes because I don't want to forget something. So there are some important points that I want to make here, and I don't want to forget. So Jabbar, how are you doing, brother? And CO Riz, hello, how are you doing? But I don't want to forget anything, so I write it down. So I'll do that. I write it down, but then after I'm finished, you got questions, I can just flow with it. So I actually like to do it that way. But so let's get going. So what I want to look at is, so like, too many of you like leave religion, but you carry over a lot of the religious ideas and just carry it over into African spirituality. So this is what I mean. So if you believe you're being punished in some kind of way, then you are still religious. If you believe that you can be punished for doing something, you're still religious. If you believe that you're cursed and are being punished in some kind of way because of the curse, you're still religious. If your spirituality has components of limitation and fear intertwined in those beliefs and what you practice, then you're still religious. Because that's one of the underlying components of religion, is that fear and control is one of the biggest components of what's used to basically get you to move in the directions that they want you to move into. So I asked a question on a meme I posted in the community tab. Why was Osiris called the judge in Kemetic spirituality? And in order to understand this idea, you have to understand the ancient African cosmology. For them, the soul was the real life. The real you is the soul that is eternal and that lives eternal. The physical life is a transitory representation and a temporary experience. So when you consider the ideas of spirituality, you have to consider them in the context of being eternal and living hundreds and thousands of lives. Not one life where you'll be judged by the big white dude in the sky. So let's answer the questions. What is Osiris, and why is he the judge? Or why is this aspect represented as the judge in Kemetic spirituality? So the Osiris is within us, and it's called the judge because it's the aspect of the soul that is trapped within. Okay, so it's the aspect of the soul that is in time and space with us. All right, it can be influenced by the life events and emotions that those events would create. However, it can discern the true from the illusion. And I'm sure y'all heard the term or the idea that reality is an illusion. Well, what that means is that the illusion is the belief that you have no power in the physical events of your life. Okay, so the illusion, in other words, we say the illusion is real. And the illusion is basically something that's happening out there somewhere, that's out there. Okay. The ancient Africans taught that life is emanating from within us. In other words, what you see outside of you is a reflection of what is within you. Okay. I like to say life is feedback. That's what life is doing. Whatever you're having happen in life, it's your most intimate thoughts and feelings being projected and then reflected back to you as your life. All right. Let's see. So if you still think in religious terms, you will automatically set up blocks from discerning the truth because of artificial, arbitrary definitions that will impede your ability to recognize the call and guidance of your higher self, or higher Ka, as the ancient Egyptians called it. As a soul who can live thousands of lives, you can be on either side of the finite human ideas of morality or immorality. A soul is like playing a character in a movie. You're a director in your own movie as a soul. You enlist other actors or souls to play parts in your movie. When the movie is over, the actors go home, look for the next parts that's interesting to them. In most movies, there's a protagonist and an antagonist, the good guy or gal or the bad guy or gal. Okay? But each side has lessons that the director or soul can gain wisdom from. In this sense, there's no judgment of the soul except this. And this is important. Okay? Did you live true to the inner call of your being every day? I'll say that again. There is no judgment. And the question that is being asked of the soul is, did you live true to the inner call of your being every day? In your movie called life, did you achieve the goal that your character laid out in the script or soul contract before incarnating? Okay? Religious morality is, did you smoke or drink too much? Did you have sex too much? Did you have sex outside of marriage? Did you use drugs? Okay? Which are all arbitrary ideas. Okay? Because think about this. And when I say arbitrary, let's consider the using marijuana. When you're using marijuana, or people, let's say, 50, 60 years ago, marijuana was illegal. Did a person that smoked marijuana 60 years ago, were they judged and sent to hell? Since it's legal today, is marijuana, or can you smoke marijuana, or it's legal today in certain states, I should say. If it's legal today in certain states, would you not go to hell because you're smoking marijuana because now it's legal in a certain state? Or how about if you have some marijuana, you're in a state that marijuana is legalized, can you then cross the border, smoke the marijuana, and then now it's illegal, so now you go to hell? Y'all understand what I'm saying? So these are just arbitrary things. So, 50 years ago, marijuana was immoral to smoke for a lot of people. In certain states, marijuana still today is immoral to smoke and use because it's considered a drug. Okay, but those are just arbitrary things. So this is how the ancient Egyptians thought of it. And this is the question they would ask, and I'm just asking it in a different way. In what form did you live up to the goal you set out to learn and achieve before you incarnated? You created the script and the life before you were born. And I'll just use an example here. It's like the ancients would ask, if you incarnated to learn the true value of yourself, or learn to unconditionally love yourself, did you achieve that goal in that life? The souls learn through opposites. In a physical relationship, you set up a soul contract before you incarnated with someone who might be mentally and physically abusive. Through that relationship, you learn to stand up for yourself and recognize the good in you. In other words, you have the opposite happen so that you have the opportunity to rise up and overcome the hardship. You get to be the hero or heroine in your movie. When you learn the lesson of self-love and gain the confidence to stand up for yourself, then you achieved your goal. You live life true and authentic. Part of that lesson is also to learn how guidance comes to you and then have the courage to follow that guidance for your higher self. If you never learn to stand up for yourself and allow the other individual to beat you down, then basically you did not live to your authentic being. You did not follow your guidance to basically become stronger and live in your own authentic way. You missed the mark, which is the original definition of sin. If you're not being and living as your authentic self, then you're living in sin. In Kemetic terms, you're living in opposition to your true self, which is the sole goal that you made, that you wanted to become, okay? In ancient Kemetic spirituality, morality is not about the rules you should follow or not, like not smoking, not drinking, not sexing. It's about being true as a soul to the script or goal you set before incarnation. But you have to learn how to recognize what that goal or life lesson is. You're never a victim. The soul contract is my example of, in the above lesson, is how you are both supposed to learn. So each of you have symbiotic relationships in this case, where the contract fits together like a puzzle. The abuser's sole goal may have been to learn not to abuse power within a relationship, because in his life before, he might or she might have abused her power. So in this life, they're learning not to abuse the power, and that's how they're supposed to, and that's why they're in the relationship with you. You could be a person in power that has subordinates. So you have a business or you're a boss and you have subordinates. And if you become abusive to them, then you're not living up to your goal. You sinned or missed the mark in this case. Each of the situations can require guidance from beyond your physical intellect. But the Osiris in you, the soul and flesh, can guide you to hear the call of your heart and spirit. That intuitive call can be at odds with your intellect. That intellect or that guidance can whisper to you to leave the abuser, but and it might put you in a position, or you think it might put you in a position where you won't be taken care of, where you, like, you might have the questions of, hey, if I leave this abuser, who's going to love me? Nobody's going to love a person like me. Or if I leave this abuser, I might not be able to take care of myself. I might not can find a job or do things to take care of myself, my children, whatever it might be. So the intellect will say one, but your guidance is telling you another. Now, in that case, you have to understand that to be spiritual takes self-esteem and courage. Because one, you have to trust that inner self. And two, you have to have the courage to follow that guidance when everything in your mind is telling you that that you shouldn't trust that inner call, or is telling you to do the opposite because of whatever the reason. Fill in the blank. What is the reason that you don't do what your inner call is telling you to do? Okay. So following the rules of religion will allow you to abdicate responsibility for your actions and the consequences. You can get mad at God and blame others because he's not taking care of the business you prayed for. God, you need to go and kick his butt because they're doing me wrong. Okay? He's not beating the people up for you. The Osiris of soul within has a job to separate the truth from the physical illusion of being powerless. That's why the Egyptians symbolize Osiris as a judge. It is the discernment of you, the soul, to be able to tell the truth from the illusion. Following the rules of religion can put you at odds against the soul. You'll follow the rules even though deep down you know they're wrong and inconsistent with what is being taught and not true to you. When you're living spiritually, you will come to the edge of experience, the experience that you know and are comfortable with. You look out, so to speak, and see nothing that's familiar with you or the unknown. The ancients called it entering the void. Do you have the courage to step into the void, let the higher self guide you? It's not about if you use drugs or drank too much or all the arbitrary rules of religion. It's about, did you have the courage to be true to your soul goal even when the void appeared? And guys, I'm telling you, that's something that's hard. That's difficult to be true. When that void appears, you have a decision to make. And you can either keep going the same direction you were going in, or step into that void and stepping into that unknown and let the flow happen. Your true goal is to live life being your authentic self. Each day you reach your goal is when you live your life authentically. You have to have the ability to define your life for you, by you, and then have the courage to live that definition. You have to know who you are. You have to know thyself. And sometimes you might not know that yet. You're still trying to figure that out. And that's okay, because you can find it out. These are ideas that I'll be exploring and moving forward in my African Mind Rewire class. Moral or immoral is not a spiritual idea. It's a religious idea. You can sin against yourself, but there's no ultimate judgment that will punish you for being moral and immoral. You punish yourself by living a life that you do not desire because you believe you're powerless. You punish yourself by living in a comfort zone that is unfulfilling and brings you regrets. In my class, you'll learn how to discern when you're going in the direction of your soul goal. You'll learn how to figure out what your major life issues are. You'll learn how to get on the road to your purpose and stay on it. You'll learn how to live the most powerful and empowering time of anyone's life and how to use it and create it to your desire, or to create the life that you desire. Registration will begin next week. If you have an interest in learning how to empower yourself to live the life you desire, sign up for the waiting list. And you can go to www.beyondthephysical.me. Class will be opening next week, and the registration window will be open for only 2 weeks. All right. So that's that. Now, if you have questions, I'm ready. Let's flow with it. Let's chat. All right, let's see. Do you know what a kufi is? Can we wear it for righteous reasonings? You can wear whatever you want. That's ku was that kwa ka. Yeah, that's man-made stuff. So wear what you want. Greetings, brother. Out shopping and checking in. All right, thank you, Squint. Appreciate you checking in. How you doing today? Okay. Raising Egyptian spirituality. I have seen a reference to Ptah. Is he similar to the Osiris aspect within? Okay, yes. And that's a good question, because you can notice that Ptah and Osiris have one leg. Okay, you can see them there. It looks like they're wrapped up. They have one leg, and but their arms are free. Okay, so Ptah is more generalized or more universal. Okay, but in nature wise, he does the same thing as Osiris, but Osiris is more is on the physical level. Okay, so Ptah is more general, and then Osiris is more on the physical level. Stephen Bishop, hey brother, I appreciate you signing up. Definitely appreciate you. Looking forward to the class. All right, Jabbar, I'm looking forward to it too, man. It's going to be fun. So can you so it's going to be, the class is going to have so Jabbar said, can you register on the Kemetic site? So this is the place where you can go register, and then You can register for the waiting list right now, but then it's going to be the same place for, so when class opens up, it will also be the same place that you will go to sign up. So same page. I'm just going to switch out the registration form to the registration form, okay? I'm going to switch out the registration form or the email sign up to you being able to actually sign up and pay for the class, okay? So beyond the me. Okay. So that's where you'll be able to go and sign up for the class. So what are religious beliefs and demonic spirits? So James, that's probably something you already know. I mean, did you grow up Christian, James? Because most of us that grew up religious, we already know what the beliefs and religious beliefs and demonic spirits are. They believe that something can overtake you, and basically, and it's beyond your control. The demon can do what it does or make you do what it does. Okay, so you were once Christian, once religious, yeah. So the idea of a demon really falls right into the religious idea that we're born in sin and we have original sin. Okay, and you got to understand is if you have original sin, then and there is no way that you, from the Christian perspective or religious perspective, there's no way that you're not born a sinner. So everything that you do is because of you being born a sinner, and from their perspective, you have no way that you just naturally want to follow God. Well, devils are basically invented at that point because you have to have a reason as to why you're doing what you're doing, but you're not responsible for it. You have to be able to say, hey, the devil made me do it. You know, that means that you have no responsibility for what you're doing and what's happening in your life. So yes, there are people that believe strongly in demons. And believe me, if you believe in something that's strong, you can literally create all the mechanisms for the demons. But in reality, if someone that doesn't believe in demons, they're never. I mean, think about it. How many millions and billions of people live worldwide that are never possessed by a demon? Okay, or somebody can look at him and go, "Yeah, he's a demon, or he's got a demon in him," but that's just their belief system. Okay, so let's see. Hey, Rose. Let's see. So basically, the judgment is the soul that you're the soul judging how you did while on earth, aka did you listen to your higher self and live out the lessons you were meant to live out? That's exactly it. You're your judge. You know, your soul, your inner being is a judge. And are you staying on the path that you were meant to go on? So there's times that we can move off the path, and we know when those things are happening. We naturally know. So you have that guidance that can get you and put you on the path, keep you on the path. But there is no big God out there that's like judging you and saying, you know what, Rose, you screwed up. Off the hell you go. You know, it doesn't happen. Okay, so that's that idea of this humanized idea that the Greeks and Romans gave us of their gods. That God is a human that has feelings, emotions, and favorite people, all this kind of stuff. It's a humanized idea. That wasn't African spirituality. They never looked at God that way, okay, as a human being. Never, ever. Okay, now human they would use human parts as a symbol to have you understand what a metaphysical idea was like. That's called yeah, I can't even say the word now. It's an anthropomorphic idea. In other words, they're using maybe an animal, they might use a human body part to express the idea of what a metaphysical representation is. So, for example, let's take the divine feminine. This is one that people really get kind of like out of sorts on. The divine feminine is not a female. It's not a woman. Men and women have divine feminine aspects. And guys, listen to me, because this is going to make sense. The ancient Egyptians or ancient Kemetians looked at the idea and tried to have us understand what tapping into the divine feminine was like. So what they used as a symbol for the divine feminine was the womb. Okay, where is the womb in the body, in a female body? Okay, it's inside her. So when you go to your inner self in your inner place, you're going into your own womb. You're going inside yourself. In the womb, it's dark, it's watery. Okay, all those aspects are the divine feminine. So men, when you literally are being creative in whatever you do, you have to go inside your mind and inside yourself to pull out whatever that creation is. And that creation is birthed from you and from your divine feminine. So it's not being feminized or acting like a woman. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with you going in. It's your inside journey. And in order to connect to your inner self, you have to go through the divine feminine. Okay? Let's see. It's not real. Keep it low. People who don't truly know themselves. It's not real. It's to keep low vibrational people who don't know themselves. Yes, that's a lot of what religion does. It keeps you in low vibrational energetic and a low vibrational energetic mentality. How do you know when you're off the path? The simple thing is, and this is what I can say to you guys, is that when you're creating and when you're doing and when you're living your life, when you're having fun, that's when you're at your highest vibrational state. Okay? When you're enjoying yourself. When you are on your path, you stay on your path by doing those things that bring you joy. Okay? It's really that simple. It's really that simple. And that's definitely something that we'll be addressing in deep detail in the class. But following your joy. So yes, so these ideas, yes, they're definitely archetypes that we're talking about. So most definitely. Let's see. So exactly, you do truly find out that you are the flesh of the universe, aka God, and that death is not a bad thing. Be controlled anymore. True that. True that. Hotep Z-Map. Hotep. Let's see, niggas. Hotep Nichols. Manifestation and the law of attraction. Hey, brother, this in that time says, please speak on the manifestation and the law of attraction. Everything that we're talking about is law of attraction. So all this stuff that they talk about today as far as law of attraction is concerned, guys, that's African spirituality. Plain and simple. That's when we get into Ma'at, when we get into Isis and Nephthys and all this stuff is the law of attraction thing. So let's talk about it. And I created a video here this past week. And I asked the question is why are African diasporans always broke? And guys, I dropped some nuggets in that some deep ones that are basically law of attraction stuff. And the idea is that if you are a person that holds on tight to your money because you just think money is hard to get, okay, and you don't give, then you are literally putting out to the universe that money is hard to get, and it's going to reflect that back to you. So this is where the idea of why, do you guys have any idea why the ancients used to do sacrifices? So we hear about these things, but we don't connect the ideas. But a sacrifice, and I used in this video, I used the idea of priming the pump. And if y'all remember, like old well pumps, you had to pour a little water in the top of the pump. And some of them, you had to pour a little water in and to prime the pump so that you can, into the suction valve so that you can pump it, and then it will end up bringing more water than you primed it with. Okay. Well, that's what sacrifices were supposedly doing. Okay. It was their way of priming the pump. They were giving to the universe or giving to God something that they value or something of value so that God will return it back to them. Okay. It's the same way with money and manifestation. If you want something more, you got to give a little in order for the unit and priming the pump in order for the universe to return it back to you. If you hold on to it tight and you are like not giving or not wanting to give because you're afraid to let it go, then you're priming the pump for lack. That's so you have to create an environment. And I used another analogy was you have to create the environment of giving from within yourself. And it's like if you think of a garden and you have flowers in this garden, did the flowers come first or did the environment that produced the flowers come first? In other words, you did the sun, the rain, the soil. Did it come after the flower grew, or did the flower have to grow within that environment first? If you want to grow and manifest money, you literally have to put that environment within you first, or money cannot come to you. Okay, so that's priming the pump, and that's the law of manifestation. Let's see, all the African spiritual law of attraction bleach down. Yeah, that's one way to think of it. Is this is the idea of tithing. Yes, tithing is the same. That's the same thing, except the churches have used it and abused it. But tithing is the idea that you're going to give a little something in appreciation and in gratitude. Okay, you give in appreciation and in gratitude, and then when you give, then that will come back to you. Okay, so yes, that was the idea of tithing. But churches, of course, they use guilt and fear in order for you to give. So if you're giving in guilt and fear, like, oh shoot, if I don't give it, I'm going to go to hell. You know, oh, if I don't give it, the press is going to talk about me, or whatever. If you're giving from that place, it's not the same thing as giving in gratitude. So not the same idea. So it's a different thing. Where did the idea of the Christian apocalypse come from? That basically came from the idea where in the Bible, supposedly Jesus said, "I'll be with you to the end of the age." Well, they misinterpreted the Greek scriptures, but basically that idea came from supposedly the end of the age was supposed to be coming, but it was an astrological age. Okay, so it had nothing to do with the world is going to end. The world, I mean, it's very possible that the world could end, but it's not going to be because of some apocalypse or anything. It might be because we blow each other up or whatever. But that's where that idea biblically comes from. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. All right. Guys, if I'm saying anything that's good to you, hey, you can give. So I'd appreciate a super chat or anything anytime. So if you got any more questions, you can ask them. I'll answer as best I can. Now, understand too, guys, that everybody has their journey. So everybody has their their things that they might deal with, or their difficulties that they're dealing with. Okay, so nobody, and I'm including myself in this, is nobody has all the answers for you. Nobody. Only you can really know what's best for you and take the directions that's best for you. Okay, so I know a lot of times there are people that I know that use fear and basically to manipulate people, and that really gets on my nerves. But they use fear, like, oh man, if you don't do it this way, then you might can blow up your chakra, and you can be really messed up. Dude, you can't blow up your doggone chakra. If you can, tell me how that looks. So either you can block energy or you can let energy flow. When you're talking about disease, it's a disease is a blocking energy, and you have to recognize what you need to do for yourself in order to let that energy flow. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. So everybody has has different things they're going to. Yeah, the sacrifices, Dexter Williams. That's what I was just talking about, was sacrifices. So it's basically priming the pump. So that's why people were sacrificing. They were priming the pump. Jamila, thank you very much. I appreciate that super chat. Jamila gave $5. Thank you very much. But but priming the pump is the sacrifices were, from the ancient perspective, you had to give something to God or to the universe in order to get something back in return, or get more return. God had everything, and there's no way that the universe is going to know what you need unless you prime the pump and give it something, give it what you are asking for, give a little bit of it, and then it'll know what to give you back. That's another way to look at it. Okay, if you don't prime the pump, or if you're priming the pump with the wrong thing, all you're going to get back is what you're priming the pump with. So if you want to manifest money, then you have to be able to give. And y'all can go back and watch that video too. And I go into it. And again, I give some really good nuggets in that. So what does Ma'at Hotep mean? Well, Hotep just comes from basically the saying of, it's actually Hotep and Ptah are actually the same letters. They're just reversed. And the ancient Africans would use words to express different ideas. And they would use a word, and Ptah, in this case, PTH, was representing the energy manifesting into matter. And then HTP, or Hotep, was energy releasing from matter. So they would use a word to basically symbolize ideas. So Ptah is coming down from the heavens, and Hotep is going in peace, so going to a peaceful place. So Ma'at is just another concept. So let's see how at that time, Pisces was the end of the age. So we're supposedly coming to the end of the age, Rose, and now we're going into the Aquarian age. So at the time of Christ, then Jesus, that was the end of the Piscean, or during the Piscean age. Yes, entering you said that, Rose. Yeah, you got it. So it's entering the age of Aquarius. See, and you can see that in the Bible, where it actually says, when I leave, follow the man that's entering with a pitcher of water, which is the symbol for the Aquarian. See, is it important to surround ourselves around the Neteru principles in order for them to be invoked within you? This is one of the concepts that inspired us to start a business that I sent you. Okay. I mean, you're already part of the Neteru. So Neteru is just nature. So don't get hung up on those words. Neteru is just nature. You're all, nature is in and through you. So surround yourself with positive people. Yes, absolutely. So that's what that means. So. Let's see. Kwaka, you said, so it means feminine peace. I'm not following you there on that. You might have to expand a little bit. Let's see. And small community, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, small. Says great message. Let's see. Jay says, greetings and blessings, my brother. And thank you for speaking truth and spreading the light. Hey, you're welcome, Jay Saxman. You are just most welcome. Let's see. Hotep Saga, the rose per ah. Let's see. Follow the man with the water picture. Yes, Z-Map, follow the man with the water picture. That's when Christ was saying that's them basically covering up that they're talking about astrology. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Well, I guess not too many people have many other questions. All right. Means feminine peace. Oh, Mahat Hotep means feminine peace. No, not necessarily. So Ma'at is a concept. Ma'at is consciousness. If you want to just sum up what Ma'at is in one word, it is consciousness. Okay. So when we're talking about living in Ma'at, we're talking about at that point living in a balanced state of being. And the ancients had a symbol to the symbolized idea of spirit and matter meeting was the mount. Okay. So wherever you see the mount, Jesus on the mount, okay, in the Bible, it's literally talking about spirit and matter meeting and in this balanced state. And in that balanced state is what is Ma'at, just being balanced. Okay. So Ma'at is also represented or symbolizes something that's feminine, meaning that in order to tap into that consciousness, you have to go within. Okay. Do you think there is a cap to the amount of people who will wake up, and how do we reach more people? Okay, so it's that time. Good question. So it's that time. Says, you think there's a cap on the amount of people that will wake up, and how do you reach more people? So no, there's not going to be a cap, but you don't know. I mean, the thing is, it's not about you reaching more people. It's about you reaching you. So just be you and be who you are. And this is something that I express through me every day. Okay, is my teaching, and I just me being me. I love to study, and I love to connect these ideas, and then I love to teach them. So I'm just being who I am. In being who I am, and putting my out there, people that resonate with me connect with me. Okay. So it's not, I'm not one to try to convince people or tell people that they should believe this and stuff like that. I'm putting out who I am, and the universe will connect those people to me that resonate with me. That's how unity is going to happen. A lot of people consider the idea of unity as we need to unify racially. But in reality, it has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with your vibration. You're going to connect and unify with people that are on the same vibrational level as you. Unity has nothing to do with the physical appearance of a person. Nothing. But when you resonate with people, like you like certain musical artists, you resonate with them because of the music that they put out. You connect with them. Okay, that's how unity happens. It's never going to be because you are a certain race or not. And the people who think like that are in low vibrational, expressing low vibrational ideas. Okay. Order and harmony within the universe. Okay, Z-Map. Yep. See, I would love to learn more. This is your website. Of course. Okay, Small. I appreciate that. See, if you live your life, you can't go wrong. Yeah, but Nichols, a lot of people have no idea what that means. So living your life in my eye. You got to understand the concept in order to do it. And people will say the words, but they don't understand the concept, because we think the words are something different than what we're really trying to do today. It's the same spiritual ideas and concepts that we have today. They just said them another way back then. Okay. Physical being, oh man. See, James Bond, you asked, how is the physical being of beginning of mankind? You're gonna have to explain that one a little bit for me, brother. See, Nichols, how's in balance space? So one lives, yes, Kwaka, yeah. If you live life in balance, in other words, what a lot of times understanding the idea of mind, we get swayed when we're in our physical life as a soul. When we're in our physical life, you can your body and soul are a connected being in a way. Okay, your body has a certain way of being, really, and your soul is kind of in the car, so to speak. Your body can be the car, and your soul is inside driving it, so to speak. Okay, Jabbar, thank you so much. I appreciate that, brother. So, so your body can literally, your body can literally, how can I say it? Your mind can overtake the direction of the soul. So your inner call. So we can get fearful, we can get angry, we can get all these things, and we can live our lives in that way every single day. And when we're doing that, we're being swept away by our emotions. But the ancients will tell you the best state to be in is being in that middle state. You don't get too high, you don't get too low. You just kind of stay, and that's what they call the state of bliss. Okay, bliss is when you live in a world where you're not defining things as negative or positive; they just are. And when you can live in that state, man, it's definitely a more elevated place to be. Now, I'll let y'all know when I reach that state, but I'm still working on it, because it's sometimes, man, I can get so pissed off. But anyway, but it's something that we all go through, guys, something that we all live through, okay? What does Noah and the ark and the flood symbolize? You know what, honeybee, I haven't even checked that one out yet. So that's something that I want to look at, most definitely. Rose, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. Try to live life in truth and harmony and stay away from the negative people. Yeah, exactly. Nichols says stay away from the negative people. And you guys got to understand, a lot of times on social media, you end up curating negative people. If you go through a day in your social media and you are seeing stuff that pisses you off, that makes you feel sad, and just all these negative emotions, you're literally creating your own consciousness. You're literally creating a negative consciousness. Tap into the higher stuff. Tap into the stuff that makes you feel good, that motivates you, okay? That inspires you, instead of this negative stuff, okay? And then you create. Okay, to know thyself is Ankh Ujab Sinab. Okay, all right, very good, very good. And again, that's cool. I like those things, but again, I just get more into trying to understand the concept, because I want to know how it works for me, and that's the position that I teach from. Speak on past lives. They hold the keys to escaping reincarnation. If we raise our vibration to a certain point, will we learn of the past? Yes, you can tap into your past lives. And believe me, if people understood past lives and reincarnation, understand this: you are your ancestors. You are your ancestors, because they are the ones who came before you, and the lives that you're living now, they're reincarnating as you. Okay, so you can tap into past lives, and guys, I know that I tap into one of my past lives even to teach this information, to teach this knowledge. So I know that in one of my past lives, I was an Egyptian priest in Akhenaten's court. Okay, I was one of his priests, and that's something that, because I had that past life, I can tap into that knowledge. Okay. So again, that's kind of stuff that we're going to be going through our class. We're going to raise the bar on this Kemetic stuff. So the Kemetic principles. Okay. But past lives can be very powerful. Guys, you can tap into future lives. You know, if you want to learn other information, or you can tap into yourself. And that's it's another principle that we're talking about, guys, that metaphysically, the way we think in linear time, one life after another, that's not it. That's not it. Everything that is possible exists now. Everything that's possible exists now. Let's see, what does witchcraft or magic mean in the Kemetic science teachings? Honeybee, you're asking me questions that you're defining Kemetic ideas by ideas that you have today, as far as a way that they might have thought, and they didn't think like witchcraft or magic. And they had something called magic. They called it Heka. But basically, all it is just the idea that you know the physical laws and you can use the physical laws to your benefit. So that's the way that they looked at it. Witchcraft, that's the same way. So we see something, a lot of times we have witchcraft defined as something negative, but witches weren't necessarily something negative. Okay, they were ones that were basically practicing interacting with the universal laws in a certain way. Let's see, without a body, your life does not end. Correct, CP says, without a body, your life does not end. So Stephen Bishop says, watch more Kemetic centered living. Very positive. Yes, true. Very true. I believe that we put out into the universe. I put out into the universe what I want to get back. That's what I do my best to do. Okay. Know your natures, yes, and work the natures that are yours. Absolutely. Can you speak more on the light that's you and how it connects to sun gazing? Okay. And again, this connects right back to modern science today. So the ancients knew that there were certain spectrums of light that we could not see. Okay. Just like there are certain spectrums of sound that we cannot hear. Anybody that doesn't believe that, use a dog whistle. Okay. There are sounds that a dog can hear that we can't. Well, in the ancients' way of thinking, all those things were valid and all those things existed. So when we talk about the light that we are in our inner being, that's part of what we are, is light. Okay. The part of what's being born with us is light. And I posted also a meme today on the community page. Y'all can check this out. But I talked about how we look at certain terms and we think that they're like religious or spiritual, when they were really, back in that day, they were science and spiritual. Okay. So like the Trinity, where we're talking about Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Well, all that is today, in today's language, the Father is vibration. Okay, if you really understand the Kemetic stuff, the Father is vibration. Okay, the Son is light. It's SON, That's light. Okay, and energy is the stuff, or the spirit is energy, which is the stuff that everything is made of. They say in the beginning was Ba, which is spirit, and then the end is Ba. Okay, but all those three things are what makes up the universe. Okay, so the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, all it is vibration, light, and energy. Same thing. They're just saying it in a different way. But because we don't think of it like that, we think it's something different. Okay, but it's not. That's why I see South Node. Roger Chart, can you help shed light on past lives and karmic debt? Yes, you can. So all those numbers, you absolutely can look in the numerology chart, Rose, and see your karmic debt. So no, there are no accidents. The name that you are, the year that you were born in, the time, all of that, those numbers, you can look into numerology and you can glean information from it. Absolutely. Saying know thyself means that means life, strength, and health. Okay. All right, Z-Map. All right, appreciate you clarifying that. Yes, sir. All right, Jabbar. Jabbar says, preach. Most definitely. Most definitely. Let's see. We wake into a physical body and sleep into a spirit body. Explain that, CP. Wake into a spiritual body or physical body and sleep into a spiritual or physical or spirit body. Because that the way I see that is the opposite, and that's the way the ancients taught it. When you're in spirit or before you manifest into the physical, you're awake and you're literally limitless. You know all, and you literally have you're unlimited. But when you cross into a physical body, you forget. And that's just part of the game of life, that you forget that so that you can raise the energy or transmute the energy and raise its level. That's why a physical or a spirit comes to the physical. Okay, Z-Man, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Okay, that's why you raise the physical. You want to raise the physical body from its lower state, unaware state, into the higher state. So that's why you incarnate into the physical. When you pass by it and it turns on. Kwa, you're asking me, what does it mean when when you pass by it and you turn on? Maybe you got a ghost. I don't know. Oh, talk to it. Can you talk about the dark matter alchemy that ISIS practices and back into our everyday lives? Yeah, so dark matter, all that. I haven't looked into that type of into what dark matter. I think dark matter is consciousness. Okay. In other words, they're saying that there's something in the universe as far as a scientific perspective. They're saying that there's something in the universe, but it is they can't quantify it. So I think dark matter is energy. Okay. So in other words, they just can't see it. Okay, the physical body is with us and it commands attention. Yep. Vibration, light, and energy. Yep. Vibration, light, and energy. That's Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Vibration, light, and energy. That's what that is. That's all it is. That's what they're talking about. They just said it a different way. It's Ka spirit. No, Ka is Ba is spirit, but it needs the Ka in order to fix itself. Okay. In other words, spirit is all around us. Everything is spirit, but it needs the Ka in order to form into something. Okay. So that's how that works. So the organizing principle of the universe is sound. So when we're talking about energy, energy is literally sound just bunched up, okay, and forming into something. So that's what energy is. And the Ka is essentially the sound. If you look at Ptah and Osiris, you'll see that they're standing on pedestals, okay? That pedestal is symbolic of sound in some kind of way. I haven't looked deep into it, but I know both of them have to do with sound. So from jumping from the metaphysical barrier, jumping over that into the physical barrier, okay? Our awareness is their waking or sleeping. We are more awake when we're asleep. I know that for sure. When you're dreaming, you are literally traveling into other dimensions and stuff, man. That's powerful stuff. Let's see, the new ancients are here. There you go, CP. The new ancients are here. We are spiritual beings having a human experience on Earth. Absolutely. Absolutely. Space that everything exists in. Yeah. Space is what everything exists in. Energy level. Oh, no. Vibration is high. Okay. Yeah, everything is energy. And it's really, guys, what we're having to do now is we're having to reorient ourselves from from thinking physical into thinking energy. And until you do that, you'll be stuck. You'll be stuck in the low vibrational fear-based ideas. When you start to think more at a higher level, thinking at a higher level is understanding that you're energy, that you're light, sound, and energy. Okay, that's really where it's going. See, how's the war? Where are people being treated allowed to continue? Else is kicking our butts. Evil is kicking our butts. Okay, Nichols, that's a good question. And this is where you have to understand there are no victims. Okay, we incarnated as Black people for a reason. Part of that reason, I know, is for us to transmute the negative energy of being told that you're nothing because of your skin. You're having to, we're supposed to learn to love ourselves unconditionally. So that when that consciousness came into the world, you got to, before then, the world was Black and lived in peace for 60, 70, 80,000 years. So there was a whole different kind of thinking. There wasn't fear. It wasn't fear-based thinking. But if evil is nothing but the opposite of what you desire. So from a higher level of speaking, it's not about trying to fight evil. It's really about trying to uplift yourself. It's really you creating the world that you would desire. And you have to create the environment first. That's one of the reasons why, to me, religion has been so damaging and devastating to us, is because it teaches us that Christ is outside of us, that God is outside of us, that God is somebody we're supposed to pray to basically save us. Not only that, God looks white. The same people that we are looking at as our oppressors, we're supposed to pray to him and he's supposed to save us and help us. That creates a conflict, okay? So this idea so we're never victims. We're powerful, we're gods, but we have to reorient our thinking. Let's see. Books we've done in kind. Wow, let's see. Not one right offhand, Small. I pick up a lot of things. I might read 5 books to get one little point. Okay. So spiritual experience for me included Egyptian symbology, so it's not surprising that you say it feels virtual. I hope you have the means to support your work and take your courses someday. All right, Takiva. So you got to put it out there, though. You got to make it happen. Let's see. Okay, let's see your work. All right, Kwa, you have a great day now. Peace. Church got us in confusion. Absolutely, May Rose's church got us in confusion. A lot of people. So, Zebulon, we are our ancestors. I didn't even know that. And it makes a lot of sense when you explain it. Yes. Keep having these connections and I don't understand. Thank you. Yeah. And Zebulon, you have to really, and this happens to me all the time, is you have to understand that sometimes you're going to get downloads, and I call them downloads. And you're going to get information that is literally, you're going to go, oh, wow. And this comes on. When that happens, that's your truth. That stuff, if you think about it, when that happens, that literally happens in a split second. You get all that information. And then it will take you 20 minutes to explain what split second. Your soul just bypassed your brain and gave it directly to you. But it's a knowing that comes to you. You just know that it's right. Okay? You just feel it. You don't even think it. You literally just feel it. And at that point, that's when your soul is communicating with you. Okay? See, what does the sun disk and a snake symbol represent? So they can represent, let's see, yellow girl. They can represent a lot of things. So the sun disk, like with the wings, it represents the idea of healing. So the sun can also represent light. So the snake symbol, that actually back in the day, a snake represented wisdom. Okay, the church flipped it, which they flipped a lot of things on us. Okay, so they made knowledge, gaining knowledge, evil. They made snakes evil. Okay, they made women evil. Okay, because Eve is supposedly the downfall of mankind, which is a bunch of crap. But so all of those things, they can have many layers of meaning. Okay. So sure things, Nichols. Sure things. Let's see. Is it good to know? Originator is creating benevolence and malevolence. It's good to know. CP, yes. So understand that again, the netters are simply aspects of nature. So even when you're talking about like the netter set, okay, where you get the ideas of devils, Satan, Diablo, all of that's from the netter set. And all the netter set means is separation, okay, and opposition. So at the beginning of creation, oneness separated. That was the end of oneness when duality happened. Well, guess how they started to represent duality? They use horns. Okay, so horns of a cow became the representative, the natural symbol or the anthropomorphic symbol for duality. Well, guess what Satan has today on his head a lot of times? Horns. Okay, so it's like they hide the stuff in plain sight, but it's just natural. We live in duality. There is always opposites present. Okay, so there is nothing that can happen that is opposite, is not some level. Okay, where there's light, there's dark, and vice versa. All right, so that's what duality is represented. So the horns of Satan simply mean that the opposite is present. Our ancient ancestors didn't have devils and evil. They understood the metaphysical principles of opposition. Okay, devils and evil didn't come till later, and quite frankly, once you start to think in terms of devils and evil, you give away your power, because then you got an excuse for not to be a god, because there's something more powerful than you in your reality. Let's see. Divine within. Yes, Z-Map, very true. Divine within, not outward. People realize this. Yep, I agree. Netter set is night. It can be. It can be the opposite of day. So again, opposition would make it more generalized. So if you say opposition, so set can be dark and day can be, light. So, and that's how they were expressing those ideas a lot of times. So absolutely. Yes, on Z-Map, you're right. On the Heru body, Bahidi. Okay, so you're right. Simply a representation of overcoming your struggle. Exactly. It's a representation of overcoming your struggle. These ideas are just archetypes. So that's all it is. And when I say an archetype, if I say something, somebody is a nerd, I'm a nerd. Okay. I'm a nerd. Well, you already have an idea of what my personality is like on some level. Okay. So that's we speak archetypal language. What they were doing back then was speaking archetypal language. All right, Jay Saxman, I appreciate it. Thank you. And Z-Map is throwing up some good stuff there, brother. You definitely are. Let's see. I was going to know what is a spiritual weapon, or the idea of it really means. I always know that there are spirits with us, but I don't understand the concept. Can you explain? You say a spiritual weapon, again, let's see. We have to, first of all, a spiritual weapon is something that's somebody else's idea. Because when we're talking about spiritual, we literally create our reality. So if we're a fear-based individual and we feel like we are in a battle, in a confrontation all the time, then we're going to think in ways to overcome that confrontation in ways that we have to look at things if we're battling. Okay, so but you have to, and let me put it this way. So in this physical reality, we have dimensions that we deal with, that we move through, in and out of, in instances all the time. Okay, third dimensional reality, you live in fear and lack. Okay, you're living in fear and lack. Fourth dimensional reality is understanding that the universe is a friendly place and works in your favor. Fifth dimensional reality is like understanding that you are unconditionally loved and you unconditionally love yourself. Okay, not all of us are there at that place. I don't care who you are. We still have these things in us that we fight against. But if you think in terms of third dimensional reality and fear, lack, war, famine, stuff like that, you're going to create spiritual ideas to combat those things. You're going to be always at odds with something. Okay. But if you raise yourself into the way of knowing, not understanding, knowing that the universe works in your favor, it shifts you vibrationally to where you're not always in fear. Now, understand, we move in and out of those dimensions. Dimensions are nothing but, how do I say? Dimensions are perspectives, okay? It's states of being. And you move, 1 minute you can be, happy and everything is cool. The next minute you can be down and afraid of something, mad, whatever. So you move through those states. So that happens all the time. Spiritual weapons, struggles and obstacles. Yes, set is the opposition. The word CMAP says set is the representation of our struggles and our obstacles. Yes, on one level it means that. And even the word Satan came from the word set. From the original word was set, S-T. Okay, and Satan, S-A-T-A-N, came from set. The original word Satan actually meant adversary. It had nothing to do with being a devil. But an adversary can be the obstacle in front of you, okay? That's keeping you from obtaining whatever it is that you want to obtain, okay? Yes, dimensions are points of focus or awareness. Yes, perspectives. And you shift dimensions all the time. And I gave the example last week. You can literally, you can buy a new car. And then all of a sudden you're driving on the road and all of a sudden you see your car, the car that you bought, you see it all around you. Whereas before you didn't. You literally just shifted your perspective now because now you're aware of that car because you have one. But that didn't mean that they weren't there or they didn't exist. Well, it meant that they didn't exist in your reality, but now they are. Okay. All right, Rose, I'll see you. You have a good day and thank you again. Let's see, the dead have, and I'm going to be wrapping it up here in just a minute here, guys. Let's see, the dead have a different perspective than the living, etc. Yes, and literally, if you want to know what it's like when you die, when you're asleep, when you're not inhabiting a physical body, it's the same as when you're sleeping. Okay, you're traveling. Your consciousness disconnects from the physical and travels, okay, and leaves the physical body for a time. Your soul literally has to like re-energize in a way, and it leaves the physical body in order to do that a lot of times. If you sleep too long, you literally can be like sluggish because your soul has been away from your body for too long. Okay, so that type of thing can happen. All right, Z, good one, man. You can reach out. Instagram. All right. Yep. All right. Okay. All right, guys, it's coming up. It's over an hour, so I usually I want to keep it at an hour, so it's not keeping people too long. But I've definitely enjoyed it. Enjoyed your questions. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, I'm going to be opening up my class here in next week, so check out beyondthephysical.me, and we can take these ideas to the next level. All right, not just going around over the same old stuff. Beyondthephysical.me. All right. Okay, guys. That's it. I'm going to wrap it up. Peace and love, Jabbar. Appreciate you being here, brother. Appreciate the gift. Hotep, brother. All right. Red Dragon. All right. You have a good one. All right. Okay. Hope you do, Red Dragon. Hope you do. And CP, appreciate your input and stuff too, man. So definitely appreciate that. I'm assuming you, man. I say that. I don't know. Let's see. All right, guys. Y'all have a good one, and I will see y'all later.